Behold, you bring tidings of good news to Democrats east, west, north, and south.
Welcome to this week's Wacky Moments of Leftist Extremism. Now, this was the week that the leftist media rejoiced in their savior, big government and Kamala Harris. They're sure they're coming.
It's Gene Robinson. Before we get to the news of the day, behold, you bring tidings of good news to Democrats east, west, north, and south. For unto them is born the reason for exuberance. You know, Democrats, that's one thing I never understood about Democrats. They're like, we don't deserve good things. I'm like, BS, you take what you need.
Take what you need. As the Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, once said,
there's plenty of money, it's just the government doesn't have it.
if you have your money and the government doesn't, well, you know, that's a problem. So it's no surprise the Harris campaign looked to Minnesota and Governor Tim Walz to be her VP, and the media bent over to twist the leftist Walz into a centrist.
The idea that Tim Walz is some lefty is just not true in reality. He got elected in a district that was very moderate.
Walz, of course, was very moderate in Congress,
establishing himself as a moderate Democrat.
He had a pretty moderate record, rather moderate in Congress. He was certainly a centrist.
Because nothing is more centrist than a 70% gas tax hike.
A more centrist deal-making candidate.
Kind of a centrist Midwesterner.
Signing a bill to make sure that babies that are far enough along to survive abortion die without getting any medical treatment. That's
a more centrist type who can appeal to suburban voters.
Because nothing appeals to moderates more than allowing the state to take away their minor children and castrate them because the state decided that they're transgender.
He has a history of appealing to the more rural, moderate voter out there.
Moderates, even moderate Republicans.
Absolutely more moderate than people are giving him credit for right now. I would like someone to point out a place that he is different on an issue.
The leftist media calls Tim Walz a moderate. He'll just coach your kids with laws that put tampons in boys' restrooms.
The moment where the vice president referred to him as coach and they kept repeating it, coach, that's going to be a thing. I think that's clear, and the campaign recognizes that. Walz talking about how the Republicans have tried to take away abortion rights, and he talked about how in Minnesota, even if you don't agree on the same thing, you respect each other's privacy. He said something along the lines of, mind your own damn business.
Nothing says the government should mind their own business like setting up a tip hotline in your state so you can rat out your neighbors if they aren't masked and following your social distancing diktats during COVID. You can lock them up or fine them for, $1,000, geez. Walz doesn't even get fined that much when he drives drunk, for goodness sake. Only $200 for him. What Tampon Timmy didn't do was serve in Iraq. Despite some reports otherwise, better go back and correct that puff piece. And now, you better correct that Harris campaign website as well. See, he left the National Guard before deployment to Iraq, and he has publicly claimed to be a retired command sergeant major, but he never did the coursework to officially obtain the rank. And of course, he never carried a weapon into war.
And we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war,
Republican VP candidate J.D. Vance called him out on this, so the media had to try and repaint the walls.
He said we shouldn't allow weapons that I used in war to be on America's streets. Well, I wonder, Tim Walz, when were you ever in war? What was this weapon that you carried into war, given that you abandoned your unit right before they went to Iraq, and he has not spent a day in a combat zone?
So, Karen, I mean, Walz did say that I carried in war, and we do know that that doesn't seem to be the case, but he would have trained extensively in preparation for it with these types of weapons.
Exactly, and so my read of it is, he was, I think, talking about the training.
Oh, she thinks he was talking about the training. Maybe CNN could ask the Harris-Walz team about that, but Democratic presidential tickets don't take questions.
Fans accuse you of stolen Valor. Your response? Governor!
Okay, so maybe the media should just bring on some guests that could lie about it?
Well, here is Tim Walz, who enlisted when he was 17 years old. He served in the National Guard for 24 years, and I'm not aware of any military service that J.D. Vance has ever served. So let's just make the comparison there.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Oh, J.D. is a Marine veteran.
And I'm not aware of any military service that J.D. Vance has ever served. So let's just make the comparison there.
Imagine an uninformed elected Democrat. No wonder they don't like questions. Some people might refer to those type of Democrats as low IQ.
And she happens to be really a low IQ individual.
A low IQ individual. That was a selection of the various ways in which Donald Trump is going on offense against his new rival. I mean, Megan Hayes, this low IQ stuff, I mean, it's definitely race related, right?
Is it definitely racist, or could it be used to describe people that may actually have low IQs? I guess calling Mika low IQ is racist somehow? I think the media might be more low IQ and racist than they want to admit.
This is not the pick that I expected that she would make. It did come down to the final three, as we understand it, and I thought she would go astronaut. Keeping it real, he to me would have been the safest, most conventionally safe pick. White, super white, like, you know, mayonnaise sandwich on Wonder Bread, white.
I'm Eric Shiner from MRC-TV, asking you not to eat that mayonnaise sandwich. Put that down and support truth by heading over to the MRC and clicking on the donate button. Visit MRCTV.org for the latest in videos, information, and entertainment. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to these videos on the platforms that actually let you see us. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back soon with another look at leftist media madness.